fast, where truth moves faster than a Holstein calf. No waiting on some pretty page. We're charting new ground in the digital age. From genomic codes to roll-out facts, we cut through the noise, no holding back. Not your daddy's dairy news tonight. We're sparking debates with every insight. The ring's not where the real fight's at. It's in the data, in the channel chat. From pasture to processor to your morning cup, we're raising the stakes. Try and get ahead of herd. Yeah! Where the future's more than just a word. Ahead of herd. Come on! The bullvine's calling, let your voice be heard.
Welcome to the Bullvine Podcast, where we challenge dairy's sacred cows with hard data and bold insights. I'm your host, and today we're about to flip everything you think you know about working hard on the farm. What if I told you that the hardest working dairy farmers in your area might actually be the least profitable? Sounds crazy, right? Well, groundbreaking research from Ireland's TGASC just proved that 51-hour work weeks consistently outperform 70-hour grinds by 20% ROI. We're diving deep into why strategic rest beats relentless grind, how flexible milking systems are revolutionizing profits worldwide, and why your brain might be your farm's most valuable and most neglected asset. This isn't feel-good wellness talk. This is hard economics that could transform your operation. Stick around, because what you're about to hear will challenge every assumption about dairy farming success.
Welcome back to the Bullvine Deep Dive, the show that digs deep into the topics that matter to dairy producers.
That's right. And today, we're tackling a really interesting feature article from the Bullvine. It's certainly got people talking, and we're going to break it all down for you.
Yeah, we are. Today, we're diving into, well, it's a crucial topic, really. It challenges one of the most kind of ingrained myths in our industry.
Which one's that?
The idea that working harder always means earning more. You know,
Mm-hmm.
We're going to unpack why those long hours might actually be costing you profits, real money, not making them.
Exactly. Our deep dive today is based on the 51-hour dairy profit advantage from the Bullvine. And it brings some, frankly, eye-opening research into the mix, especially data coming out of Ireland. It looks at how strategic rest, smarter scheduling, can actually lead to significantly higher returns. It's really about working smarter, not just, grinding out longer hours.
So get ready to maybe question everything you thought you knew about dedication on the farm. Because the numbers, well, once we dig into them, they tell a very different story and potentially a very profitable one for your operation.
Okay.
Okay, so let's unpack this core idea. The article puts it right out there, and it is pretty provocative.
It is.
What if the hardest working dairy farmers, the ones putting in all the hours, are actually the least profitable, consistently? It kind of turns everything on its head, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And what's fascinating, I think, is how the article immediately challenges, well, our industry's identity, really.
Yeah.
For generations, we've glorified this always working mentality, haven't we? We've treated burnout like it's some kind of badge of honor. You push through it.
Right. Like it proves your commitment.
Exactly. But the research, as the article points out, suggests this is a myth that's costing farms millions. It really forces us to ask that uncomfortable question. When did never stopping become more important than never failing?
That's a good question.
It feels like there's this, deep-seated societal pressure within dairy, within agriculture generally, equating sheer hours worked with success.
Oh, definitely. You hear it all the time.
Yeah. Like the longer you work, the more dedicated you must be. And before, the more successful you should be, or at least how people see you.
You've hit on something so true there. It's a cultural norm, deeply rooted. You see it in conversations and the expectations we put on ourselves, our teams.
Yeah.
Even how we talk about our neighbors, right? If someone is doing 14, 16-hour days, 7 days a week, there's almost this unspoken judgment. Like, are they really pulling their weight? Are they truly committed?
That subtle pressure.
But this article, it really pushes back hard on that. It's suggesting this isn't just, inefficient. It's a harmful myth with real, tangible consequences for the business.
And it backs that up with hard data, specifically from the Irish Agriculture and Food Development Authority, TGASC. They did this really insightful study.
Okay, tell us about that.
Well, they compared the top 25% most efficient dairy farms with the bottom 25%. And the key finding is genuinely eye-opening. Almost shocking, really.
Right.
The most efficient farmers worked, get this, on average, just 51.2 hours per week, managing about 112 cows.
51.2 hours.
Okay, now contrast that with the least efficient farmers. They were logging a staggering 70 hours per week.
70?
70, managing virtually identical herds, about 113 cows on average.
Wow. Okay, so we're not talking a small difference here. That's what? Nearly 19 extra hours every single week
19 hours, yeah.
for the same size herd, basically. That's almost 2 full extra work days every week. Where were those hours going if they weren't boosting the bottom line?
Exactly the question.
Yeah.
And the conclusion from TGASC was, well, pretty blunt, and it's worth repeating. They said, the greater profitability achieved on the most labor-efficient farms indicates that the extra workload on less efficient farms does not contribute to farm profitability.
So basically wasted hours.
Think about that. Those 19 extra hours weren't just unproductive. The article implies they were actively wasted. They likely contributed to higher risk, more errors, more stress.
And ultimately lower returns.
Precisely. It really drives home that powerful point in the article. Dedication without design is incompetence disguised as virtue.
Oof, that's strong.
It is strong, but it highlights a crucial truth, doesn't it? It's not just about clocking hours. It's about the quality, the strategic impact, the thought behind those hours.
It is stark and maybe a bit, jarring if you identify strongly with your work ethic. But what I think the article's getting at isn't that dedication is bad.
No, not at all.
But that blind dedication, just working for the sake of working, can actually hurt you. It makes you ask, okay, is my effort actually yielding results? Or am I just busy being busy?
Right. Are you busy with low-value stuff? Or is maybe the fatigue itself leading to poor decisions, things missed?
Well, the article immediately tries to quantify some of that, which really brings it into sharp financial focus. It talks about $15,000 to $67,500 in avoidable losses, directly tied to errors driven by fatigue.
And these aren't just abstract numbers, are they? These are things that, well, you listening probably recognize, things that hit the bottom line hard.
Like what? Give us some examples.
Okay, think about missed heats. A tired operator, maybe they overlook subtle signs. That costs you, what, $3 to $5 per cow per day for 21 days until the next cycle.
Right, that adds up fast.
For a decent-sized herd, say 200 cows, that's potentially an extra $600 to $1,000 per missed heat. Then there's nutrition drift. Being overtired leads to inconsistencies in feeding. That hits milk production, cow health.
And mastitis.
Yeah, the article notes mastitis incidence can jump 15-20% when operators are fatigued. That's higher treatment costs, dumped milk, maybe more culling. It all adds up.
Huge impacts. And what about equipment? Does fatigue play a role there too?
Absolutely. Operator error, often fueled by exhaustion, drives roughly a quarter of equipment failures. Think about that.
Wow.
Costly repairs, unexpected downtime right when you need the machinery most. It ripples through the whole operation. And then there's the people side. Staff turnover.
Always a killer.
Huge. It can run 22-43% in our industry. That's massive cost for recruitment, training, losing that know-how, plus the drain on your own time managing it.
And injuries.
Yes. Let's not forget the human cost, which has direct financial consequences. Injuries. The article highlights that even a minor tractor injury can wipe out $6,000 in gross income just during recovery time.
Ouch.
That's before medical bills or the personal toll. So you add it all up. Missed heats, mastitis, breakdowns, turnover, injuries. These are direct financial hits. And often you can trace them back to being overtired, stuck in that dedication without design cycle.
So it's clear that grind isn't just inefficient, it's actively eroding profit and increasing risk for the farm and for the people. It's a real wake-up call, isn't it, that the old ways might actually be holding you back.
Yeah. So if working longer isn't the answer, if it's actually harmful,
Wow.
then what is? And that's where the article really pivots. It talks about the 51-hour advantage,
Right.
offering concrete ways to actually achieve that sweet spot, moving from just identifying the problem to showcasing real research-backed solutions.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me, because it's not just saying work less, that's too simple. It's about strategic redesign, a mindful restructuring of how you run things.
Exactly.
So let's dig into how things like flexible milking, smart automation, and crucially, protecting your own brain power, how these become profit levers.
Yeah. The article is clear. Strategic rest, structured schedules, these deliver measurable returns.
Yeah.
Fewer fatigue-driven errors. It's not just about feeling better. It's about better business results.
And one of the most compelling examples is flexible milking. The article frames it really well as a profit lever, not, a concession.
Right, because often you might worry, right, If I milk less often, surely production will drop. It's a natural fear. But the New Zealand experience, specifically looking at John Toddy's farm and his shift to a 10 and 7 system, well, it kind of debunks that fear.
Yeah, his farm is a fantastic case study. So 10 and 7, that's milking 10 times over 7 days. So some days less than twice a day.
Exactly. A reduced frequency on certain days, and the results, pretty remarkable. His production, milk solids per cow, held steady, actually ticked up slightly, 377 kilograms to 378.
So no loss there. None.
None. But here's the kicker, where the profit lever really worked. He cut farm working expenses by 4.3%, dropped from $4.90 per kgms down to $4.69.
Wow, 4.3% just from changing the schedule.
Yeah, milking smarter, not just more often.
And that cost reduction plus steady production, what did that do to the bottom line?
It led to an incredible boost in profit per hectare, up 60%, from around $2,270 up to over $3,600.
All right, those aren't small changes. That's transformative.
Absolutely. And it wasn't just him. Dairy NZ trials confirmed it too. No statistically significant difference in milk solids across various flexible milking schedules.
So the message for you listening is clear. Smart schedule design can protect your yield, maybe even improve it slightly, while dramatically improving well-being and profit. You really can have both.
Challenges that old assumption, doesn't it?
Yeah.
More milking equals more profit. Not necessarily.
Not necessarily at all. Okay, so that's flexible milking. What about automation? AMS, robotic milking. The article mentions that too, right?
It does, and it frames automatic milking systems, AMS, not just as a tech upgrade, but as a crucial labor liberation strategy. I like that term, liberation.
Yeah. Tell me more about that.
Well, look at Australian AMS herds. They report comparable physical and economic performance to conventional parlors. So financially, it holds up.
Okay.
But the real benefit, the liberation, is how it lets you redeploy your labor, often your own time, to higher value work.
Right. Away from the routine pit work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
NSW-DPI findings show these herds, maybe 150, 240 cows on 3-4 robots, hitting good production numbers, around 20, 26 kilograms per cow per day, maybe 2.17 milkings a day. But the key, the managers aren't just putting their feet up.
No. What are they doing?
They're redirecting that time, often 15, 20 hours a week, freed up, into crucial stuff: detailed herd health monitoring, precision pasture management, big picture business oversight, strategy.
So using the tech to free up the human brain for its highest and best use.
You got it. Which leads perfectly into maybe the most important and often overlooked profit lever.
The cognitive link.
The cognitive link. The article stresses your brain, the operator's brain, is the highest value asset on the farm, period.
And it puts the demands of modern dairying into perspective, saying it requires the cognitive performance of a tech CEO. That's quite a statement.
It is, but think about it. Genomic selections, ration optimization, SCC management, interpreting all that data, milk marketing, these are complex, high-level tasks.
They really are. You make one core decision on genetics, maybe because you're exhausted.
And that ripples through your herd for generations, affects productivity, health, everything. Or getting rations slightly wrong because you're too tired to focus. That hits feed efficiency, cost, cow health right away.
And managing SEC, interpreting AMS data, market strategies. Yeah, these aren't simple chores.
Not at all. Yet the danger is real. Many farmers are making million-dollar decisions on 4 hours of sleep. The article uses that great analogy.
Which one?
Running exhausted is like operating a high-precision rotary on contaminated oil.
That paints a picture. It might turn, but
it won't be precise. It won't perform well, and it's heading for a breakdown.
Yeah. But is it just about feeling tired? Or does the article get into what actually goes wrong cognitively?
Yeah.
Impaired judgment, slower reactions.
It touches on that and the health implications, too. Remember that University of Iowa research cited long-term ag work associated with a 46% higher odds of dementia.
46%. That's staggering.
It's sobering. And it underlines the long-term impact. Short-term, burnout just kills critical thinking. Your genetics choices suffer. DMIME balance gets sloppy. SEC control slips. Bad capital decisions get made. Your ability to make optimal choices is just compromised.
Right. But what about the flip side? Does rest actually help cognition?
Yes. And this is fascinating, maybe counterintuitive if you're stuck in the always work mindset. The article points out that leisure, hobbies, time off, it actually improves memory, attention, processing speed.
So taking time for fishing or reading or family, It's not being lazy.
It's strategic mental restoration. It builds the very skills you need for those complex farm decisions. It's an investment.
And the USDA data backs this up. The productivity growth difference.
Yeah, the ERS data. Larger, well-managed herds grow productivity around 2.99% annually. Smaller farms, only 0.63%. And that growth comes from tech, efficiency, scale, not just longer hours.
So the takeaway here is huge. Protecting your brain power isn't a luxury. It's a core business asset, foundational to your success. Give your brain the fuel and rest it needs.
Couldn't agree more. It's about ensuring you can make the best decisions day in, day out.
Okay, this next section of the article, it really hits home. It moves beyond just the efficiency numbers, doesn't it? It talks about the human toll, the financial drains of this always-on mentality.
Yeah, it calls it the industry's dirty secret. And it's a conversation we absolutely need to be having more openly.
It raises that tough question for everyone listening. When you push yourself to the absolute limit, what hidden costs are you actually racking up?
Right, because the mental health crisis, those silent profit killers, they're directly linked to these insane hours. The article's blunt, always on, is basically financial suicide in modern dairying.
It's not just about failing to earn more. It's about actively compounding risk, magnifying errors.
And draining your decision-making ability, the very thing that drives profit. It's a vicious cycle. When leadership is exhausted, everyone pays. The cows, the people, the finances.
And poor farmer mental health isn't separate from the business, is it? It directly links to herd outcomes, profit erosion.
Absolutely linked. And the article lays out the stark reality of the mental health crisis. The statistics are, well, they're tough to hear.
Give us the numbers.
Depression affects 29.3% of ag producers. Compare that to 8.4% of U.S. adults generally.
Yeah.
Anxiety.
Right.
27% of producers versus 19% general population. Significantly higher.
Wow. That's really high.
And it's even worse for beginning farmers. In the Midwest, 58% report mild to severe symptoms. And nearly 90% cite too much to do, too little time.
That farmer quote really captured it. The farm has an insatiable appetite. It will just eat everything if you allow it.
Yeah. It resonates, doesn't it? Yeah. And this isn't just stress. It leads to clinical burnout. A review found severe burnout among 13.7% of farmers globally, hitting 25% in New Zealand.
25%. 1 in 4.
And the most heartbreaking stat, suicide rates. Male farmers, ag managers, 43.2 deaths per 100,000, nearly double other occupations.
That's just awful. Hearing those numbers, especially suicide rates, it really underscores the immense pressure. That dirty secret label feels right. We're talking lives here.
Absolutely. And beyond the tragedy, think about innovation. Burnout kills it. Reduces creativity, makes thinking rigid, blocks adoption of new strategies, which just makes the financial pressure worse. It's a trap.
A downward spiral. And beyond the big mental health picture, the article also points to those hidden financial leaks from fatigue, right? Things we see but maybe don't connect to being overworked.
Exactly. Like injury risk. Working more than 8 hours a day, your injury risk shoots up dramatically. Agriculture's fatal injury rate is already high, 21.5 per 100K, over 6 times the all-worker rate.
6 times. And many of those aren't just accidents, they're preventable consequences of fatigue.
Often, yes. A momentary lapse due to being overtired. And then there are those constant, smaller leaks eroding profit.
Like the missed heats we mentioned. $3-5 per cow per day for 21 days. That adds up.
Mastitis up 15-20%, more treatments. Lost milk, operator error causing maybe a quarter of equipment failures, unexpected costs, downtime.
And that high staff turnover again, 22-43%. So expensive. Recruitment, training, lost knowledge, all made worse if the boss is exhausted and on edge.
For sure. And the article even mentions a banking connection. Bankers report stalled loan work when farmer mental health issues aren't addressed.
Really? So banks see the link too?
They do. It underscores it perfectly. Profitability and wellness are not separate. They are linked business variables.
Yeah.
Ignoring the human cost isn't just tough, it's financially irresponsible. It threatens the farm's future.
This whole section just drives home that the cost of overwork is so much deeper than we usually think. It's systemic, it affects people, and profits profoundly. It demands a change.
Yeah. So what does this all mean for you listening? Maybe you're feeling that pressure, recognizing some of these costs. The good news is the article doesn't just leave you there. It offers a path forward.
The 90-day transformation to a 51-hour work week.
Exactly. A concrete, actionable plan, backed up by those global success stories. It's a roadmap, not just theory.
Okay, let's get practical then. How does this 51-hour challenge work? Why does it work?
It works because it forces discipline. Time, ROI discipline, return on investment for your time.
Yeah.
It makes you focus on delegation, smart scheduling, using tech effectively, turning hours saved into better execution everywhere else.
Right. So break down the 90-day plan. What happens first?
Days 1 to 30 are all about assessment, getting a baseline. First step, a time ROI audit. Meticulously log your hours by task. Use an app, a spreadsheet, whatever works.
But not just logging time, right? You need to categorize it.
Critically important. Tag each task.
Yeah.
Is it high-value CEO work? Genetics, finance, systems, people, medium-value nutrition oversight, repro checks, or low-value routine milking, feed delivery, basic fixing? This shows you exactly where your time goes.
Okay, makes sense. What else in the first month?
A health and errors audit. Document your sleep, stress levels, near misses, treatment slips, breakdowns. Build a fatigue risk ledger. Make those invisible costs visible.
And tech.
Tech due diligence. Model the ROI for automation, AMS, monitors, auto feeders. Where could it save you the most labor? Solve bottlenecks. And finally, a team baseline. Quick survey with your staff. Find easy delegation wins. Identify training needs. Get that honest picture first.
Got it. So that's month 1. Assess. What about month 2, days 3160?
Optimization and scheduling. Start making changes based on the audit. Implement one pilot automation or outsourcing play. Maybe contract out slurry hauling. Try some monitoring tech. Something manageable.
And your own hours.
Hard cap them at 60 per week. Fix start-finish times. Create boundaries immediately. Force the discipline.
And test flexibility.
Yeah, introduce one flexible element. Maybe a 4-on-4 off for the team, or just one single milking day a week for yourself. Test fatigue relief without tanking yield. See how it feels, how it works.
And that midday reset.
Crucial. Establish protected 90-minute midday reset for the main decision maker, especially on high-stress days. Not just coffee, genuine mental downtime. Recharge the brain. Preserve decision quality.
Okay. Month 1, assess. Month 2, optimize and schedule. What about the final month, days 6190?
Lock it in and measure. Progressively reduce hours. Aim for 55 by week 9, hit that 51 by week 12 through ongoing delegation and automation.
And track the results.
Absolutely. Track those metrics you baselined. Missed heats, mastitis, downtime, staff turnover intent. See the improvement. The article lays out expected ROI for a 500-cow herd.
What kind of numbers are we talking?
Saving 15-20 labor hours a week, that's maybe 15K, 20K a year. Covering 2-3 pounds milk per cow per day. Could be 45K, 67K a year. 15% lower treatment costs. Another 8K, 12K. These are real numbers.
Significant potential savings and gains.
Definitely. And finally, cement that weekly downtime. One solid 4-hour, no farm block for the principal. It's not lazy, it's essential for preserving decision quality and having the bandwidth to implement new ideas.
And the article shows this isn't just theory, right? With those global examples?
Exactly. Those innovators proving work harder is dead. Look at Ireland again, T-Gas, showing top farms hitting 51 hours, finishing earlier, being more profitable. That 119-count example, farming effectively, under 3,000 total hours a year, principal working 47 hours a week. It's possible.
And the Netherlands, sustainable farms earning more.
Yeah, over 28,500 more, led by craftsmanship, strategy, smart AMS use. Better profit, better work days.
UK examples too. Flexible rotas.
Dairy farms 4-on-4 off, 10-4 schedules, plus that pastoral care for the team. Hullings Hill Farm moving from 3X to 2X milking, right-sizing the herd, hiring a herdsperson, sharpened execution and quality of life. Clear patterns of success.
It's really important, too, to quickly touch on the U.S. scheduling and compliance side of things, because that landscape is changing fast.
Critically important. Federally, yeah, many ag employees are exempt from overtime, but states, they're getting much stricter. You have to know your state's rules.
Like California.
California is moving to overtime after 8 hours a day, or 40 week by 2025, double time after 12 hours a day. Washington's already at 40 hours a week overtime for all ag workers.
Oregon's
phasing down to 40 hours by 2027. New York's phasing down from 56 towards 40 by 2032 with some tax credits to help.
So you absolutely need to plan schedules and budgets for this. You can't just assume the old federal exemptions apply anymore.
No way. And OSHA highlights fatigue hazards too. They recommend predictable finish times, minimum rest, fatigue checks. It aligns perfectly with this 51-hour idea. It's about safety, productivity, sustainability, not just avoiding fines.
Okay, so this gives a really solid framework. Understand the problem, implement solutions, navigate the rules, move from awareness to action.
That's the goal.
So after all that discussion, all the research, the case studies, what's the key takeaway for a farmer listening right now? What can you do starting today to move towards that 51-hour advantage to really change things?
Well, connecting it all is clearly about a paradigm shift, isn't it? It's not about doing less or being less dedicated. It's about doing what matters most and doing it better with a sharper, rested mind.
Okay, so number one, what's the first step?
Track your hours. Simple as that. Start this week. Use an app, a notebook. Log your time by task. Categorize it high, medium, low value. See where your time actually goes. Aim for that 51-hour sweet spot eventually. Research shows just being less exhausted can boost productivity 15–20% through better decisions. Powerful insight from a simple tool.
Can't manage what you don't measure. Makes sense. What's next?
Maybe test flexible milking, like those kiwis. You don't need a massive overhaul overnight. Try shifting just one milking day to a flexible schedule. See how the team responds. Watch your milk solids. Remember, John Toddy. Held solids, cut expenses 4.3%, boosted profit per hectare 60%. Even a fraction of that.
Yeah.
It's worth experimenting, right?
A calculated step. Good idea. And automation. AMS.
Think about it strategically. Not just cool tech, but a way to free up your management time for high-value tasks. Aussie farms show comparable economics, but managers gain 15–20 hours weekly for oversight, strategy. That's 15K, 20K in potential labor savings right there. Reinvested in the business or your well-being. Work smarter.
And that well-being point. Protect your cognitive capacity. Like it's your best cow.
Exactly. Your brain is your most valuable asset. That Iowa dementia research, 46% higher odds. That's serious. Schedule actual downtime, weekly. Have hobbies. Let your mind recharge. Your million-dollar decisions depend on a sharp mind. Treat it that way.
So important. Okay, last actionable insight.
Start the 51-hour challenge now. Document your decision, quality, error rates, productivity. Compare it to those brutal 70-plus hour weeks. The research pretty much guarantees you'll see improvement, not decline. It's an investment in your farm's future and, crucially, your own quality of life and health.
Okay. And that provocative thought to leave people with.
Yeah, think about this. Why do we invest so much in cow comfort bedding, fans, sprinklers, but often basically nothing in operator cognition, in the well-being of the person making all the critical decisions?
Good question.
When leadership quality drives yield, components, SEC, repro, which side of history will your operation choose? Will you be the smart, rested 51-hour farm outperforming tired competitors? Or stick with the old ways, risking profit and burnout? Something to chew on.
Definitely something to think about. Great points. And that's about all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Yeah, flew by. For more articles and insights like this, be sure to visit www.thebullvine.com.
And don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss our next deep dive. Thanks for listening.
That's a wrap on today's episode of the Bullvine Podcast. If this research got you questioning your own 70-hour weeks, good. That means you're thinking like the profitable farmers we talked about today. Head over to thebullvine.com to read the full article, complete with all the data, case studies, and your 90-day transformation roadmap. You'll find everything you need to start your own 51-hour challenge. Remember, in an industry where margins are razor thin, efficiency isn't optional. Working smarter beats working harder every single time. The most profitable farmers already know this secret. The question is, will you join them or keep grinding yourself out of business? Until next time, keep challenging conventional wisdom and keep those profits growing. This is the Bullvine, where the truth about dairy doesn't always taste sweet, but it always pays off.